Welcome to Lighthouse Legacy, a podcast where Bethany High School students illuminate the past, present, and future of our school's academic beacon. I'm Khushi.
And I'm Neha. Welcome to today's episode. Today, we have with us Adia Malika ma'am, HOD of High School Department, Bethany Koramangla. Hello ma'am.
Hi Neha, hi Khushi.
How are you today?
Good, doing good by God's grace.
Lovely to hear that. So I'd like to start off by saying you have been teaching right from 1988. How has that experience been, a whopping 35 years of teaching?
Okay, I completed my graduation from Jyotinivas College in 1988. I got an opportunity to teach immediately in a small school called Krupa Nursery. So I started way back in 1988 and I have no regrets having taken that first step.
So when did you join Bethany, ma'am?
I joined Bethany in 1999.
So how was Bethany initially when you started off?
See, I come from a school where I taught for 10 years and being as young as 21, I got a lot of opportunities there, and it was another small school known as St. Mary's School on Queen's Road. So I never felt like leaving that place. But as I got an opportunity at Bethany, I came in here. I did find everybody so friendly. Akash sir was the then principal. And I still remember my interview in the boardroom. And everything was so friendly. I didn't know that those were the people on the board. But they asked me right across the table to say yes. But I said I need time to think, which I shouldn't have. So I started off in 1999. Of course, I accepted, and I have no regrets that I decided to join Bethany. I had to come in for some other reason because I didn't get my appointment letter. And I was just amazed at Akash sir calling me by name at the foyer. I mean, meeting a person once, I think that is the dynamic Akash sir. So it's been 25 years, by God's grace. It's my 25th year at Bethany, and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
So to start off, what are some of your fondest memories when you were in high school?
Wow. High school? Finished high school in 1983. And high school was a wonderful time. Right? I belonged to a class of naughty, united students. So you can imagine, right? Naughty and united. So we had a lot of fun. It was a girls' school. I studied in St. Charles High School in Bangalore itself. Right? So we were a bunch of very interesting students of different kinds, but yet when it came to, doing things together, we were very, very united. I was in the choir, right? So I loved singing, and we had a very good choir and a choir teacher also. So we spent quite a lot of time singing in the choir for all the high days, for all the programs. And the next thing that I was very interested in sports. So name it. We were given a lot of exposure. We played hockey back then. I had the opportunity to be the captain of the hockey team. And that winning goal in Kantirwa Stadium is something that I will never forget. Right? Brought back a little shield for my school and felt very proud that I could do something for my school. There was a lot of training back then, where we used to get up early in the morning and go to the ground and practice with our PE master. I must mention his name. His name is Mr. Pillai. He's no more, but very encouraging. You may be wondering, in our days, whether some things like this happened. We used spikes to run during athletics, and we played baseball. So whenever we got a free period, like you children do us, we always went down playing either throw ball or baseball. So we were encouraged to take part in all kinds of sports. And I'm being a sports person, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's lovely, ma'am. We never knew our HOD had such a sporty side. And you mentioned something about being a part of a naughty class. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the funny and memorable incidents that you had?
Yeah, I still remember in standard 10, our math teacher was teaching us, and she had given us some sums. And somebody I was always short, so I was in the first row. Somebody from the back of the class just passed a packet, an empty packet. And it just went round the class. And finally, when it came to me, I was just busy doing my sum. I didn't notice what came into my hand, and that's when the teacher caught me. And then she said, "What's that?" I just looked around and I had no clue what was happening. So she asked, "Who did that?" And I told you we were a very united class. All 31 of us stood up. The poor teacher was left, not knowing whom to punish. So we were very, very united and thoroughly enjoyed the fun times together.
So how do you get your entire department to function properly? Even though every staff member has different ideas and thoughts, how do you put it all together and make them so united?
Well, I want to thank God for the principals I have worked with. At St. Mary's, I worked with Mr. P. and Abraham, who was a perfectionist. When I came to Bethany, I worked under Akash sir and then Robert sir. They gave me a lot of opportunities to sharpen my skills. So I'm very grateful to them. At Bethany, I was a class teacher. I've been a house counselor. I've taken care of the examination process over here. I've been in various committees. So these exposures have been a good platform for me to learn what happens in different departments and even in the staff room. I've been a part of the staff room for 18 years. So I know exactly what a teacher really goes through, right? And so what I do with my staff is I know their strengths. So I tap each one's strengths. Those who are good at IT, I try and give them a lot of these online work or any kind of communication, right? There are some other teachers who are good with extracurricular activities. So I tap those strengths that each one has so that everybody feels a part of the team. And once I do assign a job to them, I would never want to interfere. I like them to come out with their own creativity and to explore. Students have a lot of talent, right? And you just have to give them a chance. So these teachers, in turn, will get ideas also from the students. So it becomes a collective work. So everybody feels important. And I definitely go the extra mile to appreciate my teachers for everything they do. So I get 100% cooperation from each one of them. I do a lot of homework. And my day does not end without me completing my diary with the planning of how to execute and carry out things for the next day. For example, today we had assembly to put up. Then we had the photo shoot happening with the classes. And finally, the podcast today, right? So there were so many things to put in place. My diary would have the blueprint perfectly done, right? So to execute it, I know what the next step should be and how I should go about it. So I think there's a lot of hard work that I put in, and I'm just blessed with a wonderful team. I don't want to mention any names, but like we say, you have 5 fingers, they're all different. Every one of my team, they are very, very important, and they play a part in helping to run this department smoothly.
Okay, so what's the one thing that makes your day?
There are times when I have to discipline children, talking to them, making them understand why they're wrong. And when I can see the joy on their face or the fact that they've understood what they were doing wrong, and when I see the change, that gives me a lot of joy. Or maybe somebody's hurt, and if I've been able to bring a smile on their face, that makes me feel really.
So after a long day at work, what do you do that makes you unwind and relax?
I listen to some nice music. I listen to some motivational speeches. Mostly it would be biblical messages that I hear. And I think I draw my strength from God.
So, what are some of the few changes in school or in syllabus that have brought a huge difference?
Okay, I go back to 25 years. I'm unwinding what happened 25 years back, what I've seen at Bethany, right? It was a small, cozy place. It's all grown up today. And thanks to the management, Akash sir, Robert sir, who are always willing to explore and do the best, not only for you children. At Bethany, the child is the center of everything. We teachers are there to enhance and support the principal, director, and the management, right? At every point, whenever there was something new in the market, we were always trained to enhance our skills. They moved any stone to see that we were upgraded and we could use it usefully to the students. The students should ultimately benefit, and it would make our lives also easy. You look at our auditorium, our assemblies used to be very simple. But today with technology, everything is so colorful, right? You can bring a video into the assembly, or you can get somebody to talk even if they're not present there. So it's brought a lot of life and more meaning to the assemblies, right? So another thing is that at Bethany, every teacher is given the ability or the freedom to explore and teach the way they would like to. There is absolutely no interference, right? Nobody interferes in the method in which the teacher teaches. So it gives them a lot of freedom to go and explore and teach in the kind of method they are comfortable with. And of late, the coming in of the smart boards has changed many things. We found a lot of color, like in physics, when we want to show them experiments or maybe a motor or a generator, which we cannot bring to the class, the working of it is beautifully explained with these smart boards. I think there's a lot of interaction, and of course, dust-free, chalkless, whatever you want to say, it makes it easier even and good for our health.
So, if you were in teaching, what would you be doing, ma'am? Like, I'm very curious to know about it.
I really don't know, because as a child, I think I remember playing with my neighbors, I'm the teacher and they are the students. So I think God just paved the way for me to get into this teaching line. So I don't know what else. Maybe I would have joined some NGO and helped some children who are less fortunate.
Nice. What is one thing that you have learned over the course of your career?
Through the course of my career, I've never aspired for anything big. I always thought I'll retire as a school teacher, right? But I think there was a lot of hard work and involvement. I always gave my 100% without expecting anything back. So I think those things have paid a rich dividend. I love teaching physics. I love teaching. That's my passion. Even though I'm doing a lot of management work today, I never miss a single class of mine saying that I have some other work, right? So I love going in and interacting with the children. And I really don't look at the marks that they score. But if they really understood the concepts that I have taught for that day, and I get the joy of the feedback, right, from them, that they're able to answer well, that makes my day and my teaching. I've never felt bored, even though it's 35 years, right, of teaching. Maybe the same old thing, but the children are so different. Every year you get a new batch, and each child is different, right? So it gives you the enthusiasm to keep going on.
Has physics always been your forte?
Not really. Actually, I did my B.Ed with mathematics. But I think you need to be a specialist at Bethany. And somehow, the first year I did teach both math and physics. But then I think I continued with physics.
So, which is your most favorite book, ma'am?
My book, I have read a lot of books, but the one book that I always turn to is my Bible. Why the Bible? Because it gives me a lot of strength. I feel I need to draw my strength from God to carry on every day, not only in my career, but even in my personal life. So I draw my strength, and the wisdom, I believe, comes from God. So I've never been a rank holder or something, but I find that when we trust God, God makes everything beautiful.
So we have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Starting off with, what is one thing you would love to bring back from the 80s?
Innocence. I think we were so innocent in the 80s. We could just go into our neighbors' houses. All the kids on the street would play together. And nobody ever questioned, right? So I think that's one thing I wish we could bring that innocence back today.
So, talking about the Bible, which is your most favorite verse from the Bible?
There are a lot of verses, but maybe I'll just say one, that God loves a cheerful giver. I believe that the more you give, the more you're going to be blessed.
That's a beautiful phrase. What is one guilty pleasure of yours?
Yeah, being diabetic, maybe I shouldn't have ice cream. But once in a way, I just help myself.
So, who's your biggest role model in life?
My dad has been a big pillar of strength. He was a very hardworking person and went through a difficult childhood and worked from a very young age. He went the extra mile to take care of so many people, gave liberally. So I think we've learned watching him, and I think he's an inspiration.
Are there any principles as such that you abide by?
Yeah, I think both my parents taught us never to say lies. And that means you be truthful at all points, even if it costs you. So I think I love to just say the truth, because it becomes very easy, you don't have to hide anything. And the next thing is, I think, as a child again, never to cheat. Doesn't matter, you get what you are due, so never ever cheat anybody.
So, we know you're a huge fan of cricket, so tell us more about it.
Oh, cricket. I think I put aside my studies also. Sometimes till the game was over. I still remember my mom telling me, India was playing against West Indies, and it was the third or the fourth day, and the match came to an end because West Indies were just far out. So my mom said, at least now you'll get back to your books. So I followed every cricketer, knew when he was born and what was his achievements and all back then, but not really now, because I think I've just moved on and there are more responsibilities. But I enjoyed the game of cricket, yes.
Any favorite player?
Oh, back then it was Kapil Dev, Azharuddin. Oh God, I think I can list all of them.
Very sweet. Are there any hobbies that we don't know of?
Yeah, I do a little crochet. So once I start something, I never drop it. So I enjoy doing crochet.
Okay, so final question of the day, ma'am. Can you tell us a little bit about the committees that you're a part of?
Okay, in school, I especially feel very happy being part of the family fund, right? Sometimes we can't give such big amounts, but when you're a part of it to help the less fortunate, the families in need, it gives you a different kind of a feeling, right? So to be able to reason, think, and help these families, being part of the committee has been a blessing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part of such a beautiful initiative. It was a thorough pleasure hosting you, and we hope you felt the same. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Khushi. Thank you, Neha. Podcast team, you're just so brilliant. Thank you for what you're doing.
If you want to be notified when a new episode comes out, follow us on Instagram at Lighthouse Legacy Pod.
We are available on most major streaming platforms. This is Khushi and Neha signing out. See you next time.